As all y'all know, I currently live in the PNW, and we had like a family trip with other friend families. We want to go to a warmer location, get away from the cold. So we went to Mexico, Vallarta. It's a beautiful place. But before I even talk about that trip, I have to talk about the journey to get to Mexico and how much of a struggle it is. I'm warning every single one of y'all. Never book a flight where it's booked by one airline and ran by another airline. It's the most confusing thing ever, and they'll just send you back and forth like you're playing Pong. Like, if there's ever an issue, you go to one airline, they tell you to go to the other one, and then you go to the other airline, then they tell you to go back to the other one, and it's just like back and forth, back and forth. It's the most frustrating thing ever. So, but if you do, you have to be flawless and meticulous, like you don't slip up. Unfortunately for me, spoiler alert, I slipped up. So just to give you a backdrop on it, right? So December 19th, Friday morning, early morning, I had a flight, 6:30 a.m. I never take early flights, but literally because I guess it's like December and all that, if I did any other time later, it would have been like double the price. So 6:30 a.m. there's an international flight from the PNW of the USA to Puerto Vallarta in Mexico. Technically an international flight, so you gotta be there extra early, right? 3 hours early, but ain't nobody gonna be at the airport at 3:30 a.m. for a Mexico flight. Like if I was going to like Japan or something, then yeah, I can see it, but it's just ridiculous, right? 3:30 a.m. I think I want to sleep at 3:30 a.m. on that day. So yeah, technically it's international, but I treated it like a domestic because of the border packed between Canada, US, and Mexico. You can easily, if you're a citizen of the US, you can easily go between Canada and Mexico. Like you don't need a visa, you don't need anything. I've been to Canada and I've even been to Mexico before. It's a pretty straightforward process, at least compared to other international flights. It's not that difficult. So I just treat it as a domestic flight, got there like 80-ish minutes before takeoff. And I later realized that was a huge mistake from my end for many reasons. So another reason why a 6:30 a.m. flight sucks is because just getting to the airport is such a struggle for many reasons, right? One, I usually take the train to the airport. It's only like $2 or $3, public transit, supporting the public infrastructure, all that. It's like a 50-minute train ride from my closest train station to the airport, but that's fine because I live really close to the train station and it's pretty much direct, right? The issue is that it opens at 5 a.m. and the flight was at 6:30, so there was no way I could take the train ride. And instead, for a 20-minute, no, get this, like for a 20-minute Uber ride, it's $50. It's so ridiculous. I hate paying that $50 because it's such a small ride. But fine. This one time, since I rarely get an early flight, but this time I had to get an early flight. So I paid the $50, got to the airport 80 minutes before takeoff. It's like, what, like 5:10-ish? And I'm surprised how hectic the airport is already at 5 a.m. You can see like in one corner all the like there's a kid crying, you can hear it. There's parents, they're scrambling for their documents or something. There's people blocking the walkways just because they're staring at the boards of when their flight is or what terminal, whatever. I personally was chilling, 5:10 a.m. flights at 6:30 a.m. For most domestic flights, this is early, in fact. Sometimes I get there like 30 minutes before, right when it's board and I get to the airport. So I had no worry in the world so far. I had no worry in the world because I have TSA pre-check, I have the clear thing, so there's a separate line if you have a combination of both. It has like a handful of people, like 5-6 people usually, right? So I was like, okay, I can quickly get through the TSA line. I have no worry, even though there's a long TSA line for the regular people. For me, I'm prepared. And I was so prepared, like I was so chillin', that I even brought an empty plastic container to quickly go to the Amex lounge, get some food, and not eat. I won't have time to eat it, but I'll have time. Like, this is how dumb and out of reality I was. I literally thought I had time to quickly go get some food, pack it, then quickly just walk to my terminal, I'll be fine. But the first problem occurs when I'm trying to check in the kiosks. So before that, I tried to check in online the day before. It said go to like the kiosk or something, and I was like, okay, fine. Since we're going to another country, I guess they want to check my passport or whatever. So the first thing I did was go to the electronic kiosk because obviously there's no line, and the flight specifics were I got the flight from the Hawaiian Airlines website, but it was operated by Alaska Airlines. So in my head, logically, it makes sense to go to Hawaiian Airlines section. So I went to the electronic kiosk and I tried to put my flight number or whatever, confirmation number, whatever it was. And then it says, see front desk. There was an error processing or something like that, right? And I was like, okay, that's weird. But okay, fine. I was right next to the Hawaiian people anyway, so I just waited in line. And there were not that many people, but it still went so slow. But all I needed was just a quick boarding pass. Did not need to check in any bags. I just had one backpack, which I would just take with me, and you know, all is good, right? So I wait in the line. Time goes, like time is going. 20 minutes for a handful of people, right? And it's finally my turn. And then they tell me this flight is operated by Alaska, right? So you would have to go to Alaska to check in, since they're the ones who are managing the flight. You know, I was kind of confused in the first place because I was like, first of all, okay, I bought the flight through Hawaiian. I only know it's Alaskan because I saw like a fine print on the ticket. Even the email of the confirmation, everything was Hawaiian, pointing to Hawaiian Airlines. But okay, fine. Operated by Alaska, sure, I'll go to the Alaska airline. But another confusing part was, I thought y'all merged. Like, didn't Alaska Airlines acquire Hawaiian? It was kind of confusing, bruh. It's still like an hour before the flight, right? 5:30ish. So then I like, okay, fine. I quickly go to find where the Alaska Airlines was. You know, I'm still chilling. I'm casually just walking, you know, like not a worry in the world about a flight that's gonna take off in an hour, because I still believe I can quickly get to the terminal with no issue and still get my food, because I've done it so many times and it only takes like 5 minutes to get through the TSA for me. So yeah, I waltz over. I like literally waltz over to the Alaska Airlines, and you know, I see a huge line, way bigger than Hawaiian, like 2 or 3 times bigger. And then I kind of started getting worried because, you know, it's 5:30 and this line is moving really slow. Luckily, you don't have to wait to get to the front because there's like an employee who's walking up the line to quickly check people in, and only if you have to like drop bags off, you have to wait for the whole thing. And I didn't have to drop bags off, right? So like 10 minutes later, I'm still in the line, and one of the attendants from Alaska Airlines comes to me and is like, oh, I can help you get checked in. She has like a iPad thing and she like scans my ticket and all that. And now it's 5:40, by the way, so 50 minutes till takeoff. And then in her small iPad it says the system, like there was an error processing, and then she's like, the system won't allow me to check in if you're under an hour of takeoff. I'm like, it's literally 10 minutes late. Like, are we serious right now? You can't check me in just because I'm 10 minutes late, and the whole reason I'm late is because y'all are confusing me based on the ticket of Hawaiian or Alaska. Like, I've never even heard of this rule of this 1 hour check-in thing. So I was like, no, there's no way. I can't miss this flight. Like, my family is like, we're all meeting over there. They paid for my hotel room. Like, I can't just miss it. And I'm literally right here. I can make it through the gate. I tried explaining to her I can make it through the gate super fast, but she's like, I can't do anything. The machine is not letting me sign in. It was, you know, kind of frustrating. I mean, obviously it is my fault. Like, it's not her fault, obviously. But I mean, I guess we're already at a point where machines have more power than humans, because she could not do anything, even though it was, I personally felt like this was a little unreasonable, you know? But fine, I was like, okay, what can I do next? You know, what do I do from here? There's no point in going back and forth with this lady. She obviously doesn't have the power to do anything that would help me at this moment. So she says to continue waiting in this line, and once you get to the front, the people on the computers they can help me reschedule. And I was like, okay, sure. So I wait in this line for 30 minutes. And I swear to God, I could have made it to the gate by now, but fine. Alaska didn't let me check in, so I couldn't even try. Got to the front and told the front lady the situation about how I wasn't able to check in, how I went to Hawaiian Airlines first. She seems a little disinterested, whatever. And she worked her magic and, you know, a lot of clickety-clacketing on her computer. And she came up with a new flight where I wouldn't have to pay anything extra. The only issue was the flight that she got was literally taking off at 7 p.m. on the Saturday night. And remember, this is 6:30 a.m. on Friday. So the one that she got takes off at 7 p.m. from the PNW to San Diego. And then there would be an 18-hour layover. It would be overnight, of course, and I wouldn't get to Mexico until like around 4 p.m. Mexico time. So instead of my original plan of arriving Friday evening, now I'm arriving 2 days later on Sunday evening. Like, it made no sense to me. And there was also, on top of that, I remember seeing there was another flight for 7:55 a.m. and right now it's 6:30 a.m. So I can't book that and check that real quick if she would help me. But when I told her about it, she literally said the price difference would be too high for her to see on her computer. And that is so confusing to me. And she said the only way that can be done is if you call the support number, and here's the number, call them and they can help you out. Which makes absolutely no sense to me. Why are these people so helpless, like these agents so helpless, and why do I always have to call the support line to get anything done? Like, why don't they just train or give them the ability to help people at the airport where it's the most urgent? But okay, fine. She can't do anything. It seems like a lot of people can't do anything. I tell her to continue with booking this one as a backup, but I'll call the help desk to see what the response is. So I get out of the line, and in the airport still, I call the hotline, right? And it literally goes something like, "Thank you for calling Alaska. An agent will get to you soon. The latest wait time is 2 hours and 9 minutes. And I'm like, how? Like, that lady told me to call this number. It's like 6:30, 6:40 now, right? And this flight departs at 7:55. So she told me to call a 2-hour wait line number for a flight that's an hour away. And I don't know. This whole system is so stupid. Like, I had to make an executive decision like ASAP, right? That either I miss this flight and literally arrive Sunday night, or I just take it and pay the extra. It was like extra $300 for a one-way ticket. I didn't really have much time to think about it. I had like 10 minutes because I have to check in, remember, an hour before, or it's gonna be the same situation again. So I literally took like in 5 minutes, I made the decision, okay, you know what? I'll buy the one-way ticket and then deal with the rescheduled ticket when I get to Mexico or whatever, right? One thing I was afraid of, and one thing I've been told in the past, is if you miss any leg of your flight, the rest of the flight gets voided or canceled. So that was another issue that I had to like deal with. And if I did it through the hotline, if the hotline didn't have a 2-hour wait time, I would have been fine. I was just like, okay, I'll just deal with this when I get to Mexico. At least with this, I'll arrive Friday evening. Then I quickly buy the ticket, find an agent to check me in real quick, run through the TSA, and get to my gate number and everything. All good, all in time. I just slept through the entire like 5-hour flight. I landed in Mexico, Uber to my hostel, to check in there. Now I'm in Mexico, but I'm still have to deal with the airlines because of the issue that I mentioned before of my original flight. So then I called with 1-800 number with the Wi-Fi calling, and once again I was hit with, "Thank you for calling Alaska Airlines. We will get to you soon. The current wait time is 2 hours and 5 minutes. Oh, 2 hours again. It seems like they're always backed up. I mean, I just need to know, like, is Alaska that incompetent that it needs a lot of people to call them? It's just ridiculous. 2 hours? Like, do you need to hire more people or resolve your issues faster, or make your system in a way that it doesn't have that many issues? Okay, well, either way, I literally wait the 2 hours in my hostel when I could have been roaming around the streets of Puerto Vallarta. But instead, yeah, I was just on a bunk bed, just waiting for my call to go through. And eventually I get to an agent who I explain the entire mess to. And I talk about the original flight, the new flight, and all the things, and how I need to cancel the outbound trip but keep the return portion of my original flight. And then yeah, I told him how I bought through a Hawaiian, but it's operated by Alaska. He was like, the ticket is from Hawaiian. They're the only ones who can change any flight details. And you know, I'm starting to lose it at this point, because when I went to Hawaiian initially, they told me it's operated by Alaska, so you go to them to check in and all that. And now if I want to change any flight, I have to go to Hawaiian. I mean, it just like, why is it so confusing? Honestly, Hawaiian should be able to handle all of it because I got it through them. Their website, their everything. They should be able to handle all of this. I should never have to go to Alaska, especially because they're merged in the first place. But anyways, I was just like, I can't wait in this queue again, right? Like, are you sure there's nothing you can do? And they're like, yeah, the ticket number you're giving me starts with like HA, which is Hawaiian Airlines, and we don't have that in our system, blah 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 blah. And I was like getting really frustrated at this point, but I was like, okay, fine, I will call Hawaiian to clear it up. And thankfully, the Hawaiian Airlines was a very short wait. It wasn't 2 hours, it was literally like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. They have the audacity to say that Alaska is the one that switched my outbound flight, and if I want to cancel that switched outbound flight, I have to call Alaska Airlines. I wanted to throw my phone out the window. It made no sense, and I did not know what to do, because now if I call Alaska, I'll have to wait 2 hours again in line to talk to them. And I was getting so frustrated at this point. I was just like, okay, I just want to know. I don't care about a refund. I don't care about any of the points. Just tell me, will I be able to use my return trip for my original flight if I miss the Alaska portion? And they said it should work. I was like, it's either yes or no. Will it or will it not? And they said based on what they're seeing in their system, it should work. Apparently, the Alaska agent that rescheduled my flight switched the first leg of the trip to an Alaskan ticket, and the return is still a Hawaiian ticket. Somehow, she messed up in switching the flight, and those two legs of the trip got separated into two different tickets. So even if I missed the Alaska one, I should be able to get to the Hawaiian one. But for some reason, that was the best answer that they could give. They couldn't guarantee me or anything like that. But, you know, at that point, I'm not calling Alaska again. I'm not waiting 2 hours again to cancel the flight. I don't even care about the points. So I just accepted fate. You know, it is what it is. I will figure out on the day of my return trip what will happen, how I'll get back to the US. But for now, I'm just gonna enjoy Mexico. Now, it's Christmas Day, and it's the day to return back to the US, right? Let's fast forward like around a week. And I'm back at the airport. But obviously this is the Mexico airport now. And I stand in the Alaska line because I learned from my other trip, it's operated by Alaska. Even though it's a Hawaiian ticket, I'll wait in the Alaska line, right? And you know, I wait in the line, and I got there early, and the agent is like, your ticket has been canceled. It just says cancel in the system apparently. And there's nothing we can really do because your ticket is canceled. And I was like, oh no, here we go again. The PTSD is coming back. And then I was like, okay, wait, what does that even mean? What does cancel mean? And they're like, yeah, we don't really know what that means. I was like, okay, then what should I be doing? And they're like, call Hawaiian Airlines. At this point, I'm mentally done, and I don't understand, again, for the millionth time, how these people are not equipped to do their job. Like, you guys are supposed to help with these situations, right? Like, am I wrong? Like, obviously, once again, I'll emphasize, it is my fault, but this customer experience is horrible, like absolutely horrible. I was like, okay, fine, I'll call them, but do you have priority or internal number that I can skip the queue at least? Because I don't want to wait hours to figure out a situation. Yeah, I just need to know what to do next at this point. Luckily, there's another employee that steps in and calls for me, and he reaches an attendant super fast. So there must have been some special number. I don't know. He barely had to wait any time. And the issue got instantly fixed. I was finally cleared to fly. It was a smooth flight, made it back home. Everything worked out at the end of the day. It was the worst airline experience of my life, but hey, there was a Christmas miracle ending at least, right? So yeah, so that was my journey to and from Mexico. Horrible experience. So once again, I'm telling everyone, do not ever book a flight from an airline that is not operating the flight.